Success doesn't start with money, contacts, or talent. It starts in your mind. The thoughts you entertain every day shape the life you create. If your internal world is chaotic, filled with fear or self-doubt, don't expect your external life to be any different. Everything flows from mindset. If you constantly see obstacles and won't notice opportunities, even when they are staring you in the face, people spend too much time trying to change the outside world while ignoring the thoughts that sabotage them. It's like trying to fix a mirror by changing your reflection without addressing your appearance. If you don't adjust what's going on inside, you will repeat the same outcomes no matter how many times you change your strategy or environment. A person who believes they can achieve something will eventually find a way. That belief doesn't mean they won't struggle. It means they'll keep showing up until the struggle becomes a stepping stone. The mind is where that persistence starts. Before your hands can build success, your thoughts have to approve it. If your mind is filled with fear, anxiety, or low self-worth, you attract experiences that confirm that state. That's not superstition, that's psychology. You move differently when you believe in yourself. You speak differently. You carry yourself with a quiet authority that others can feel. Your energy introduces you before your words do. The truth is, you attract what you think you deserve. If you believe success is for other people but not for you, your actions will reflect that. You will self-sabotage. You will hesitate. You will talk yourself out of trying. That's why the mental blueprint must be built before anything else. You cannot outperson all you have of yourself. It's not about being delusional or pretending life is perfect. It's about rearing your thinking to align with who you want to become instead of who you have been. That takes effort. It means replacing doubt with confidence and negativity with intentional belief. The mind is like a muscle. You have to train it daily. What you repeatedly think, you start to feel. What you feel, you begin to act on. What you act on, you begin to attract. You are not just shaping your mindset, you are shaping your entire destiny with the thoughts you allow to dominate your mental space. You can't attract success if you don't know where you are headed. Vague goals create vague results. Success responds to clarity. You have to decide exactly what you want and commit to it. A man with a clear purpose will always outwork and outlast a man who's just chasing money or recognition. Purpose builds endurance. A definite purpose gives you direction in chaos. When setbacks hit, you don't fall apart. You regroup and keep going because the mission is too important to quit. Without a purpose, you will take detours, get distracted, and lose years trying to figure out your next move. Purpose streamlines your decisions. It becomes your inner compass. The moment you define your purpose, your brain starts organizing everything around it. It begins filtering information, identifying opportunities, and discarding distractions that don't serve that goal. You start thinking with precision. You stop trying to please everyone and focus on fulfilling the mission. Purpose doesn't mean you will never get tired. It means when you do get tired, you will still keep moving. You won't need motivation to push you. Your purpose will pull you. It becomes a source of fire. The more you feed it with action, the stronger it burns. That fire is what separates the focus from the lost. Too many people confuse busy with purposeful. You can be busy all day and still not move 1 inch closer to your goal. Purpose brings focus. It forces you to ask, is this moving me forward or just keeping me occupied? That question alone can change your life. It removes clutter and reveals priority. If your life feels scattered, go back to your purpose. Strip away everything that's not aligned with snuff. That might mean letting go of certain habits, people, or paths that no longer fit. This process is uncomfortable but necessary. You can't attract success while carrying dead weight. Every ounce of energy must be focused. Once you get clear on your purpose and start living it daily, things begin to shift. People notice. Energy changes, ideas flow. Momentum builds. You stop chasing and start attracting because purpose gives your life a gravitational pull that draws success in. Desire is the starting point of all achievement, not hope. not casual interest. Real desire, the kind that burns in your gut and keeps you up at night, is what pushes people through walls and over mountains. If your desire is lukewarm, don't expect the universe to respond with intensity. Energy matches energy. You have to want it bad enough to sacrifice for it. You have to want it bad enough to look crazy for it. You have to want it more than your comfort, your distractions, and even your fear. People who attract success aren't lucky. They are just willing to do what others won't. That willingness comes from desire. Desire turns adversity into fuel. When you truly want something, obstacles become part of the process, not reasons to quit. That desire drives your creativity. You start looking for solutions instead of excuses. You stop waiting for perfect conditions and start creating your opportunities. Passion makes you resourceful. Desire is what keeps your feet moving when your legs are tired. It's what makes you get up after failure, dust yourself off, and try again with more intensity than before. Without desire, all the knowledge, connections, and opportunities in the world will go to waste. But with desire, you become unstoppable. People often confuse desire with fantasy. Desire shows up in behavior, not just thoughts. If you say you want something but take no action, you are fantasizing. True desire is visible in your daily grind. It shows in your choices, your focus, and your hustle. Your actions reveal the truth about your hunger. You attract what you are willing to fight for. Success isn't handed out, it's earned through relentless pursuit. If you are not seeing results, don't blame the dream. Check the level of your desire. Is it strong enough to keep going when the applause stops? Is it strong enough to silence your doubts? The world will test how badly you want it. You will be pushed, challenged, and discouraged. But desire turns resistance into motivation. The deeper your desire, the higher your bounce-back power. That intensity sends a signal. It tells the world, I'm not here to wish. I'm here to win. You can't attract success without faith. And by faith, I don't mean blind optimism. I mean a deep inner knowing that what you are working for is already yours, even if you can't see it yet. That belief changes how you show up. It changes how you speak, how you move, and how you handle adversity. Faith is what keeps you steady when results are delayed. It's what makes you continue planting seeds even when the soil looks dry. Without faith, you will give up right before the breakthrough. Faith gives you the stamina to keep going when nothing around you says it's working. It's the invisible engine of success. People respond to faith. You don't have to convince them with words, they can feel your belief. Your certainty is magnetic. When you walk with faith, doors open. People trust you. Resources find you. You become a force, not because of what you have done, but because of how deeply you believe in where you are going. Faith isn't just in outcomes, it's also in yourself. You have to believe you are capable. You have to believe that your background doesn't disqualify you, that your past failures aren't your final chapter. Faith permits you to believe in something bigger than your current circumstances. There will be moments when doubt tries to creep in, when logic tells you to give up, when the evidence screams, it's not happening. That's when you lean on faith the hardest. You speak the vision louder. You affirm the goal with more conviction. You take the next step, not because you see the full path, but because you trust the destination. Faith makes you bold. It takes fear out of the equation. It silences the noise of public opinion and keeps you focused on your mission. People without faith fold under pressure, but people with faith rise. Not because the journey is easy, but because they refuse to let go of the dream. You don't attract success by playing it safe. You attract it by walking in faith, by taking actions today that align with the future you believe in. That alignment draws results, not instantly, but inevitably. Faith puts your belief on display, and belief backed by action is irresistible to success. Look around you. Your environment is either feeding your growth or fueling your destruction. The people, the energy, the conversations, the habits, they are all either pulling you closer to your vision or be shown that you can't expect to soar while you are surrounded by anchors. The atmosphere you live in every day is quietly shaping your mindset, your confidence, and your conscience. If your circle doesn't challenge you, it's caging you. If the people you talk to daily aren't talking about elevation, then they are keeping you in a mental loop of mediocrity. Conversations shape perspective. When your environment is full of negativity, gossip, fear, and comfort, it becomes a breeding ground for average results. You can't attract greatness while living in low-frequency surroundings. Your habits live in your environment. If your space is cluttered, your mind becomes cluttered. If you are always in places that distract you, you will struggle to find the focus required to grow. Discipline thrives in order. Progress loves structure. Your physical surroundings need to support the vision you say you want. If it doesn't, you have already set yourself up to struggle. People ignore how much their environment is affecting them because the damage is slow. It doesn't feel like sabotage, it feels like routine. But over time, routine becomes identity. And if your daily routine is surrounded by people who settle, places that waste your time, and habits that drain you, your identity will reflect that. And identity always determines the outcome. You have to audit your environment like your life depends on it, because it does. Every detail matters. The books on your shelf, the apps on your phone, the people in your messages, the noise you consume, all of it either sharpens your ambition or dulls it. Success doesn't grow in hostile soil. You have got to cultivate an atmosphere that supports your highest level. Sometimes changing your environment means distancing yourself from people you love. That's not betrayal, that's protection. You are not abandoning them, you are preserving your destiny. You can love people without letting them have access to your growth process. You can respect their journey without letting it derail yours. Some environments aren't evil, they are just still small for your vision. As your goals grow, your environment must evolve. New dreams require new standards. If you don't change your environment will change your dream. Don't wait until it's too late. Build a space mentally, emotionally, physically that speaks to the future you are building. Your environment is a mirror. If you don't like what you see, it's time to change what surrounds you. Motivation is a spark, it's quick, it's flashy, and it fades. Persistence is the fire that keeps burning when the motivation is gone. Everybody gets motivated at some point, but not everybody keeps showing up after that motivation wears off. That's the difference between people who start strong and people who finish what they started. Motivation is easy to find, but persistence is what builds results. As your goals grow, your environment must evolve. New dreams require new standards. If you don't change your environment will change your dream. Don't wait until it's too late. Build a space mentally, emotionally, physically that speaks to the future you are building. Your environment is a mirror. If you don't like what you see, it's time to change what surrounds you. Motivation is a spark, it's quick, it's flashy, and it fades. Persistence is the fire that keeps burning when the motivation is gone. Everybody gets motivated at some point, but not everybody keeps showing up after that motivation wears off. That's the difference between people who start strong and people who finish what they started. Motivation is easy to find, but persistence is what builds results. The truth is, most people quit when the results don't show up fast enough. The ones who succeed aren't the most talented, they are just the ones who didn't give up. They stayed in motion, they stayed locked in, they kept showing up when others sat down. That's persistence in action. If you only act when you are motivated, you will never get momentum. Momentum is built through consistency, doing the work day in and day out, no matter what mood you are in. It's not about hype, it's about habit. Persistence builds a rhythm, and that rhythm eventually leads to mastery. You don't get great by doing something once when you feel like it. You get great by doing it repeatedly when you don't. Life will test you. It will hand you setbacks, disappointments, and dry seasons where nothing seems to work. That's when persistence is forged. You will be tempted to quit. You will question whether it's worth it. But persistence doesn't live off feelings, it lives off decisions. You decide once and then you honor the decision daily through action. That's how progress compounds over time. When you learn to persist, you become unstoppable. You stop depending on perfect conditions or emotional highs. You stop looking for external energy because you have developed internal power. And that kind of persistence becomes your competitive edge, because while others are waiting to feel ready, you are already moving, already building, already attracting what they are still dreaming about. Life will test you. It will hand you setbacks, disappointments, and dry seasons where nothing seems to work. That's when persistence is forged. You will be tempted to quit. You will question whether it's worth it. But persistence doesn't live off feelings, it lives off decisions. You decide once and then you honor the decision daily through action. That's how progress compounds over time. When you learn to persist, you become unstoppable. You stop depending on perfect conditions or emotional highs. You stop looking for external energy because you have developed internal power. And that kind of persistence becomes your competitive edge, because while others are waiting to feel ready, you are already moving, already building, already attracting what they are still dreaming about. You can't expect abundance while constantly speaking of lack. You can't expect success while constantly speaking doubt. Words are seeds, and they don't care if you plant weeds or flowers. They'll grow what you give them. Speak fear, grow fear. Speak vision, grow progress. Speak life, and life starts moving in your direction. You have got to train your mouth to support your mission, not sabotage it. Words are instructions to your subconscious. When you say I am, you are not just describing, you are creating. Say I am stuck, and your mind will settle there. Say I am learning, and your mind starts looking for solutions. You are shaping how you feel, how you act, and what you believe by the language you choose every day. That's why changing your vocabulary changes your future. Even the jokes matter. I'm just playing becomes a habit of speaking failure under the disguise of humor. But repetition doesn't care about intention. Say it enough times and your mind starts treating it like the truth. That's how powerful words are. They can work for you or work against you, depending on how you wield them. You have got to speak with awareness, because your mouth is setting the tone for your momentum. Every successful person you admire speaks differently. They guard their language. They affirm their vision. They speak from a place of faith, power, discipline, and clarity. They don't waste words on fear and negativity. That's not by accident, it's by design. Because they understand that what you verbalize becomes what you internalize, and what you internalize eventually becomes how you operate. The moment you take control of your language is the moment you begin to take control of your reality. It starts with being intentional, replacing I hope with I will, swapping maybe for definitely, and trading complaints for declarations. When your words shift, your thoughts shift. When your thoughts shift, your actions follow. And when your actions align with power-filled language, success is no longer a matter of chance, it becomes a matter of time. Everything you see around you once lived in someone's imagination. Every skyscraper, every invention, every breakthrough, every piece of technology, it all started as a thing, a vision, an idea someone believes in before. Your imagination is not just a place to escape, it's a tool to design your future. If you can't picture where you are going, don't expect to get there. Clarity begins in the mind. The mistake most people make is thinking imagination is for dreamers and children. No, imagination is for builders. It's for leaders. It's for people who refuse to accept what is and choose instead to focus on what could be. The mind is the blueprint station of your life, and imagination is the architect. If you don't take the time to visualize the life you want, you are stuck reacting to whatever life throws at you. When you imagine something clearly and repeatedly, your mind begins to believe it's possible. And when your mind believes it, your actions start aligning with it. Your focus shifts. Your energy adjusts. Your choices begin to reflect that future you saw. You can't chase what you can't see. You have got to see it so vividly in your mind that it becomes hard to tolerate anything less than that vision in reality. Imagination gives birth to purpose. It's not just about picturing the car, the house, or the money. It's about visualizing the kind of person you want to become. It's about creating an image of your character, your habits, your values, and your strengths. If you can form a mental picture of the highest version of yourself, then every day becomes a mission to match that image. That's how growth begins, by imagining more for yourself. Doubt and fear attack the imagination first. If the enemy can corrupt your imagination, he's got your future. If you can't imagine yourself winning, you will never put in the work. If you can't see yourself rising above your pain, you will stay stuck in survival mode. That's why your imagination must be protected. You can't allow what you see in front of you to shrink what you can see within you. The internal image must stay bigger than the external circumstance. Your imagination doesn't ask for permission from your reality. It demands leadership from your faith. You have to believe in things before they happen. You have to visualize the result before the process makes sense. Some days you won't feel qualified. Some days the evidence will say you are wasting time. But if the picture in your imagination is clear enough, you will keep moving toward it. You will keep acting like it's real until it becomes real. Success doesn't come to those who only see what is. It comes to those who see what can be. When your imagination becomes the foundation of your actions, you stop waiting for conditions to be perfect. You stop asking for signs. You create direction from within. You act based on the future you have already built in your mind, and that every step you take brings that image closer to reality. Success doesn't take credit. It takes cash, and that cash is paid as sacrifice and relentless discipline. You don't get the reward, then pay later. You pay first. Always. You put in the hours when nobody's watching. You grind when nobody's clapping. You invest effort with no guarantee of return. And only after you have paid in full with interest do the results start showing up. That's how it works. No shortcuts, no handouts. People want the success story, but they don't want the struggle behind it. They want the glow up without the grind. But life doesn't play that game. If you are not willing to do the hard stuff before the comfort, you don't get either. You have to be willing to look foolish, fail, sacrifice sleep, cut distractions, and say no to temporary pleasures so you can build something permanent. The bill always comes before the blessing. Look at anyone who's made it. They paid first. They were rejected. They were tired. They kept going when it was lonely. They got up early. They stayed up late. They trained harder, studied longer, sacrificed more, and endured seasons of silence. They didn't ask when the reward would come. They stayed focused on paying what it cost, because they understood that results are rented, and rent is due every single day. The price isn't just physical, it's emotional too. You have to push through doubt, overcome fear, deal with criticism, and keep moving through internal resistance. You are not just battling the world, you are battling your excuses. Paying the price means doing the thing when everything in you wants to quit. It means making decisions that are uncomfortable now, but powerful later. It's being willing to suffer now to succeed later. People think they are being punished when life demands more from them. But pressure isn't punishment, it's payment. That stress, that discomfort, that resistance, that's the price. And the bigger your dream, the higher the price tag. If it were cheap, everyone would have it. But greatness isn't sold at a discount. You don't get to tiptoe toward your vision. You have got to invest all in early and often. There will be times you want to pause. You will look at others who took the easy road and seem up here and seem ahead. But don't fall for that illusion. What comes easily doesn't last. What's built on shortcuts collapses fast. Paying the price in advance guarantees your foundation is solid. It ensures that when the opportunity comes, you are ready. You won't be scrambling, you will be stepping into what you have already prepared for through hard work. There's power in knowing you have already paid. It gives you confidence. It gives you clarity. You don't have to second guess when your preparation has already been paid in full. While others are still asking for permission, you are already moving. While others are still hoping, you are executing. You don't get what you want, you get what you are willing to pay for in effort, time, sacrifice, and consistency up front. The moment you stop blaming others is the moment you start changing your life. As long as it's someone else's fault, you have given away your power. You have handed your control over to circumstances, people, and the past. But the truth is, no matter what happened to you, the next move is yours. That next decision, that next thought, that next action, it belongs to you. And if you want your life to elevate, you have got to own every piece of it, even the broken ones. Taking responsibility doesn't mean everything is your fault. It means you are willing to take ownership of what happens next. You can't control every situation, but you can control how you respond. You can't erase your past, but you can choose how you let it shape you. It's about standing up and saying, this is my life. I'm not waiting on anybody to fix it. I'm not depending on anyone to save me. I'm doing the work myself. The most dangerous mindset in the world is the one that says, I can't do anything until someone else changes. That's the lie that keeps people stuck. They wait for support. They wait for a break. They wait for motivation. But nothing changes until they change. The moment you stop waiting and start doing, things begin to shift. That's the difference between being a victim of life and being the architect of it. Responsibility means you stop making excuses, you stop pointing fingers, you stop hiding behind circumstances. Instead, you confront the truth. If your life is going to be different, it's because you made it different. You chose discipline over comfort. You chose growth over blame. You chose to wake up and show up, no matter how unfair, how difficult, or how painful the journey was. That choice is your power. Most people don't fail because they lack talent or intelligence. They fail because they refuse to take responsibility. They keep saying it's not my fault and wonder why nothing changes. But you can't be pensive about your life and expect to feel fulfilled. You have to grab the wheel. You have to be honest with yourself. You have to take accountability for your habits, your results, your mindset, your effort, and your direction. Responsibility also means making peace with the truth that no one is coming to rescue you. Nobody owes you anything. And once you stop expecting someone to hand you success, you start creating it. You stop chasing approval and start building self-respect. You stop living by someone else's standard and start raising your own. That's the beginning of real freedom, when you stop outsourcing your happiness and take full command of your future. And yes, responsibility is heavy, but it's also liberating. Because if your life is in your hands, then so is your breakthrough. So is your comeback. So is your victory. When you stop waiting for the perfect time, the perfect person, or the perfect condition, and you decide to move with what you have got, you realize the power was never out there. Out there, it was always in you, waiting for you to claim it and act on it. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. And who you are is built daily through your habits. Habits are invisible forces pulling your life in a direction, whether you notice it or not. They are the quiet routines that decide whether you grow or stay stuck. People look at success as something mysterious, but more often than not, it's just a result of what someone does when nobody's watching. Your habits are working even when you aren't paying attention. Every morning you wake up and make a decision to either follow through with the disciplines that build your future or fall back into the patterns that destroy it. Your habits tell the truth about your priorities. You say you want success, but do your habits prove that? You say you want to be healthy, but do your daily choices reflect that? You say you want to be financially free, but do your spending and saving habits align with that vision? You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your habits. Goals are good for direction, but habits create traction. A person with average talent but excellent habits will outperform a talented person with poor habits every time. Why? Because consistency always wins. Repetition creates momentum. Habits eliminate the need for constant motivation. You don't have to feel like doing it when it's just who you are now. People don't understand the compound effect of daily discipline. That small decision to wake up early, that consistent focus on your craft, that refusal to waste time scrolling. It doesn't seem like much at first, but over time it separates the successful from the stuck. Your habits are like bricks. Every single day you are laying down a piece of your future. And one day you will look up and realize you built something unshakable or something fragile. Bad habits are just as magnetic. They pull you toward chaos, mediocrity, regret, and stagnation. And the danger is that they don't always feel bad at first. They are comfortable, easy, and familiar. But ease is a trap. Anything that gives you comfort without cost usually robs you of greatness in the long run. Every day you repeat a bad habit, you are reinforcing the version of yourself that's working against your dreams. You have got to become obsessed with building habits that match your vision. If you want a high-performing life, you need high-performing habits. And you start small. You start today. You don't need a new year, a new month, or a new job to create a new pattern. You need a made-up mind and a plan. One change leads to the next. One shift in behavior can change your circle, your income, your energy, and your self-worth. People will ask how you did it. They'll wonder what your secret was. But you will know it wasn't magic. It was the daily silent work. It was showing up on the days when quitting seemed easier. It was keeping promises to yourself long after the excitement wore off. It was staying loyal to the habits that aligned with the future you believed in, even when there was no applause and no proof yet. You can visualize all day long, but if you don't move your feet, nothing moves in your life. The law of attraction isn't some magical wish-granting machine. It's a mirror of your energy, your focus, and your effort. You can't just sit around thinking positive thoughts and expect your bank account to grow or your life to transform. What you think about does matter, but it only starts the engine. Action is what drives the car forward. You attract what you are in harmony with, and harmony isn't created by thought alone. It's created through habits, behavior, and that you bring to every day you Bradlow situation. You want big results. Then your actions have to match that energy. You can't talk about success and then act like someone afraid to fail. You can't pray for opportunities and then ignore every door that opens because it looks unfamiliar or uncomfortable. Faith without works isn't faith, it's fantasy. Too many people sit back waiting for a sign, hoping the universe just hands it to them. But the sign is your desire. The sign is your discontent. The sign is your dream that keeps tugging at your soul. When you feel that pull, that's not a coincidence, that's an invitation. But invitations require an RSVP. You have got to answer with movement, with commitment, with bold steps in the direction of what you claim to want. The law of attraction responds to energy, and energy is revealed through motion. When you take a step, you change your frequency. You start vibrating on a level that aligns with your vision. The universe meets you in momentum, not in passivity. You don't get clarity by waiting. You get clarity by doing, by trying, by learning, by failing forward. That's when doors start opening, not because you wished for them, but because you walked toward them. It's not about perfect execution. It's about intention backed by relentless effort. Don't wait until you feel fully ready. Don't wait until all the conditions are ideal. They won't be. Start where you are. Use what you have. Do what you can. Action creates alignment. When your mind, your words, and your behavior all point in the same direction, that's when you become magnetic to everything you have been praying and working for. You have got to take the first step when nothing is guaranteed. That's what separates dreamers from doers. Dreamers hope, doers move. Dreamers talk, doers build. Dreamers wish, doers work. And in the working, in the building, in the relentless action, that's where the attraction multiplies. That's where favor finds you. That's where breakthroughs collide with your belief system, because your behavior says, I'm ready now. So speak the vision, yes, write it down. But more than anything, live it out through action. Let your days reflect your desires. Let your calendar show what matters most. Let your energy scream what you are committed to. Because the law of attraction isn't passive, it's activated through intention, driven by discipline, then proven through the consistent pursuit of your highest calling.